Hi, my name is Brandon. I wanted to do the walkthrough with my real actual account so you can see some sort of real data in action and sort of the actual use cases for the product. So this is our dashboard right here. The dashboard is sort of a news feed style view. We're planning on refactoring this a little bit so we can be a little bit more information dense. But right now, it's sort of a news feed of all the things that we think would be useful for you to know. So you can see on the right here, you have your upcoming meetings. We're planning on adding some statistics there as well. You can have meeting review. So this is an example of a meeting review card where you've had a recent meeting that we think is somewhat important, and we want to help you sort of flag that so that you can easily take notes on it or something like that. And I'll come back to that in a little bit and demonstrate that. And finally, we have resurface, which we're calling follow-up here. This is where you tell us roughly how often you want to meet with someone, and we look at your calendar and your history with that person to come up with a list of people every single week or so that we think would be useful for you to sort of follow up, and you do that on your own, or you can tell us, hey, I don't really care, and then we'll push it off, until the next time. So one of the interesting things here is that we do a lot of NLP analysis on the incoming data. So this is a calendar event where this person was not invited on the calendar event, but we were still able to detect them. So here I can add additional people. Here I can, remove them. I can sort of configure that information. And when I'm done with that, I can sort of review this contact. And that allows me to add them to resurface so I can follow up with them on a regular basis. It lets me add labels to them. And it also lets me take notes. So I can take notes here. I can pop this into full screen view. This is very Dropbox paper style layout here where you can have headings and you can take notes with bullet points, and all of this auto saves instantaneously so that when you're done editing, you come back here and it's ready to go. I can also add to-dos here, and when I hit done, that meeting will have be considered reviewed. We build a lot of CRM style features into this. It's really important to have feature parity with, some of the other tools out there before we can do the more exciting stuff like the generation of the emails and text messages. So of course, in addition to, reviewing events, we also have labels. So you can sort of click through here and see people that are labeled with certain things. You can go through and organize that. I'm going to show you a profile here that you can see. This is a real profile. Right off the bat, you'll notice we're trying to be very helpful at the top and show you sort of when you first met them, how you met them, what you've done since, and that's shown with both a relationship depth score here, which is a calculation that we make for not only how often you've been meeting with this person, but what you've actually been doing. We're also showing you a sort of GitHub style view right here of your interactions here. So the dots mean different things. Green is sort of a call, red is an email, and so that easily lets you contextually see sort of what have I actually been doing with this person. We're also showing the notes here that you've taken on someone, and they're contextual to the meetings that you've actually had with them. And finally, the timeline down here, you can see it's a combined timeline. It's showing both meetings that are coming up, meetings that have happened in the past. We're detecting what they are, so we know that this is a call. Emails here are shown in line as well and threaded, and you can click on one button to open them in Gmail. Super easy, super fast, and you can jump to certain times in history. You can filter by the type, so you can see sort of a specific type of interaction or something like that. This is also a good chance to demonstrate one of the generation features that we have called Intro Assist. So Intro Assist is a feature that automatically writes an email introduction for you, and it's like basically 3 clicks to actually get an introduction ready. The introduction that we generate is like super contextual, and it's basically good enough that you could send directly, but we usually ask that you include a personal comment or something like that. So if I wanted to introduce John to GC, for example, you can see instantaneously we've generated that introduction, and it's actually a pretty solid introduction. We've included here that John and I were able to connect last week, and that was when I came up with the idea that maybe John would be good to introduce to GC. You can see I actually flip the direction of the introduction, and now the other way around is happening, and all super easy. And you click this button right here, and it drops you straight into Gmail with that draft ready to go. And I guess I'll just demonstrate that as well. So you can see sort of Gmail opens and the email is ready to go. The people are here. I can add additional comments, and then I just send this email off. Super fast, super easy. Another feature that we have is called shared contacts. So that's the start of the support that we have for organizations and other things where you want to share contacts with other people. We try to include as much of this data as possible. So I just click on share this contact right here. I can sort of decide how much information I want to share. And you can see here a preview of what that page looks like. So we've included all the key sort of data points, the notes that I've had. We've truncated the timeline itself, and instead we're just showing this grid of interaction so that, a coworker or a fellow, friend of mine who, looking at this can easily see, this is how the relationship has been going thus far. And I click on create a shared link right here, and boom, it's ready to go, right? And so here's an example of one that I've already created. I can also open the one up that I just made. And so here's the one I created here where you can see okay, I've only talked to this person a few times. We provide helpful links to their LinkedIn profile, as well as Googling what they actually do. Just to open up that profile in incognito where I'm not signed in, you can see, this is the same view that I was just showing you there. And finally, all of these features are available on mobile in the mobile app that we're working on, as well as other platforms. We have a Gmail extension. We're working on a Chrome extension as well. We have a Mac OS app coming on pretty soon that actually just integrates with Spotlight, so you can just type in someone's name and get to their profile super, super fast. I think the key differentiator, if I can talk for just a moment about it, is sort of that we're trying to, one is deliver a sort of contact management experience at parity with what already exists, but then we're trying to go a lot further and actually use the data itself to try to, make people's lives easier by generating things that I think are really common to relationship building. And our goal is to just nail as many of these as possible and just have a huge plethora of different options. So on the mobile app, for example, we have this feature called follow-up assist, where we'll send you a push notification after a meeting, and you can immediately sort of go and say, hey, this is, it was great to meet you and stuff, and we'll generate that for you sort of on the spot super fast. That's it. Thank you.